Hello and welcome back to Nasty Metal, particular channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another album review. Now, today's review is actually a request, and it was a request from, of course, the band themselves, or at least it could have been from one of the members that sent me this back on March 30th, and it took me definitely several months to finally, or a few months to finally get around to reviewing this album. It, of course, is the second full-length album from Italian heavy metal band Black Phantom. The band, of course, is the album titled 0 Hour Is Now, which, of course, was released on March 20th. Could have been 20th, but it probably was was sent to me since I had relooked. Apparently, it was March 30th that it was sent to me on Google. Through my Google account and everything. Black Phantom. Now, again, I just stated these guys are based out of Italy, which was, of course, Milan, Lombardy, Italy, and they were formed in 2014. Their very first album, Better Beware, was released back in 2017, and here, of course, is their second album here, 0 Hour Is Now. So, finally, just from here on out, let's definitely get into the actual album itself, where I'll be giving out a little more details on this. So, again, this is their second full-length album. It's, of course, is 9 tracks, technically 8 original songs, and track number 9 being which I'll get to, a German version of one of the songs on the album. And I'll when I get to that song, I will mention that. So, anyways, again, it's pretty much 9 songs, clocks in at 46 minutes and basically at 1 second. So, really, just within 46 minutes. Released to, of course, Punishment 18 Records again on March 20th of this year. So, as musically, since I was I'm not familiar with this band. I mean, upon listening to their second album, definitely I think the biggest influence on this band has to, of course, be Iron Maiden. I mean, just from, the opening song, Redemption, to, of course, the track number 8 being Hands of Time, you can tell that their influence is definitely Iron Maiden. I mean, singer Manuel Mellini, he definitely has that Bruce Dickinson style, vibrato and feel to his vocals. He's got that very that type of style to him in terms of the way and his the octave range and everything of him. And again, it's just tone. It's very similar to Bruce Dickinson. And musically, now not to say that this is purely Iron Maiden worship or Iron Maiden clones. It just has that kind of feel, and I think the biggest Iron Maiden influence I can do as far as comparisons is actually more so the more later period Iron Maiden, mostly the Bruce Dickinson reunion era, at least from albums such as Brave New World up to, of course, to the Book of Souls. You can really hear that era, this recent era of Iron Maiden, at least being the biggest influence on here. I mean, whether or not you can hear, and I'd say maybe some throwbacks maybe here and there, maybe to, let's say, Seventh Son, or maybe at times maybe Somewhere in Time, but though without the synthesized guitar sounds and the real glossy production, everything without that. But I can make comparisons to that, but still, I hear a lot, again, that modern era Iron Maiden sound in Black Phantom, again, just from openers such as Redemption up to about Hands of Time. Even, of course, finally, should also make it again, a reason I'm not saying to at least to track number 9 is because here, finally, I will basically get into the song that ends up being repeated, at least for both English and German. It's, of course, is Schattenjäger, I think is the, I might have just fucked up the pronunciation of that song, but basically, it's German for, of course, Shadowhunter. But there's an English version of this song, and of course, track number 9, which is the very last track, since it's tacked at the end, is a German version of it, since, of course, the song itself, at least the title, is, of course, is a German name for, of course, Shadowhunter. So that's definitely that. And again, music on here, again, it has a lot of that, it has definitely a bit of that Iron Maiden feel to this song as well, but it's not a, total Iron Maiden clone. It's not a complete worship, but just has that feel. Of course, as far as our tropes of that, we have, of course, the long, and it's actually one of my standout songs on the album. It's, of course, is The Road, and it's the longest song on here. It clocks in at 7 minutes and 53 seconds, and it's a bit of a slower track, but still is very great. It still has a great build-up and everything, just from beginning to up to the end. It still is a very good song. One of my absolute favorites off this one. Another absolute favorite, of course, is a little faster. Probably the least, to me, personally, along with maybe another song such as Be Gone, that has that is less Iron Maiden influence, or at least feel, as of course is Aboard the Rattling Ark, which the way it starts out with the sort of effects and everything, before then getting into being a very fast, upbeat, I wouldn't say galloping, but it's very close to being almost a very speed metal tune on this album, and it's a heavy gallop. I guess in a way it does have it, but it's just the way it just feels a bit. I guess if I say Rattling Arcs have a sound, I guess the beat, or at least the pacing of the song, would be that sound. It's actually it's a great fucking track on here. It's just heavy, fast, and it's definitely a great song on here. One of my personal favorites off this one. At times, I would say it has more influence, maybe Anvil, I guess, if I have to make any comparisons, but still, it's not even close to being that. It still is a great fast track. The other song I also mentioned that is probably the least Iron Maiden sounding song on here is probably Be Gone. I mean, this one starts up with a very almost psychedelic style bass tone effect and everything, almost funky kind of, but not without trying to be funk metal and everything, but just gives due to the phaser effect that is added to, of course, Andrea Tito's bass tone and his whole sound. It just has that, and it's actually very cool and makes it really kind of stand out, at least as well, from this. And again, the actual ending for this album, that is the bonus track, or at least the German version of Schattenjäger, is Hands of Time, which is, again, it's another this one's a little more melodic, and then this is probably the one I can pinpoint has more of a almost Seventh Son of Seventh Son feel to this song in a way. It just has that, the way it begins and everything. Still, it's a great track, though, in its own right. I still like it. It's definitely a great song. So a great way to really end the, to me personally, officially, the album. And of course, again, don't have to really mention too much about track number 9. I've already stated what it is. You can go back to what track number 9 is, if you weren't completely paying attention. If you didn't. Alright, so that's pretty much about it I can say for this album. So here, this is where I will then give out my rating. It's actually 8.50 out of 10. This is definitely a solid album for these guys. I may have to go back and check out the first album just to kind of hear on where they came, at least on how this sound progressed from their very first album. Still, though, this is great stuff. Again, if you are definitely a fan of Iron Maiden or just like good, traditional metal and so on, this is definitely an album I definitely recommend checking out. I think this is definitely something I think most of you will definitely dig. Definitely a great, solid album. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. This is Heavy Threat Shed Sam out, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.